of that. As a servant, I don't need a posse. Y'all not with me. As a servant, I don't need a clique. But I'm designed to do it all by myself. If I gotta clean the church, just give me an hour or two. I put my iPad on and put my gospel music on, and I'll do it all by where are the people of excellency in the house who can say, I'd rather do it by myself and it come out right than hire hands that don't have the heart to do what I'm doing and it come out haphazard. God, well, you only clean where you can see, but you don't dust where you can't see. I'm not saying it here because of the things that you don't see that'll kill you. Excellent. Oh God, the Bible says that here now in Hebrews, God, the writer, and I asked the Lord, why didn't you put an author's name to this? And he said, because I don't want the people of God to get hung up in who it was. Because sometimes we get too hung up in the author, we start doing the history of the author and get away from the texture of the writing. But when you think about the Gospels, every time you think about God, certain Gospels like Matthew, the first thing that comes up was he was a tax collector. And if any of you owe the IRS, you're going to bypass that book because of who it was written by. You're going to catch that on the way home. God, for you all the saints that don't believe that young people shouldn't do nothing in the church, you may bypass the book of Luke because it was written by a young man. You're not with me here. And so it is. Here now, beloved of God, in this book of Hebrews, I got the highlight, the theme, the focal point. Somebody holler is faith. And here is a problem, beloved of God. You'll believe in people faster than you'll believe in God. God said he's going to do it, and you kind of wonder whether he's going to do it or not. And you listen to Sister Sally, who's a liar, and everybody knows she's a liar. But because she said the right thing at the right time, you're believing a liar and don't realize you just got lied to and got set up for the greatest letdown of your life. But the last time I heard, God is not a man that he should. Faith is that thing, God, that can bring a miracle to pass in your life. There's about 8 of you here, you are overdue for a miracle. I gotta tell your neighbor, he's talking about me tonight. You're overdue for a miracle. Can I tell you something? What God has in store for you is going to even blow your mind. God, you want to tell your neighbor, say, neighbor, I need a card of a good psychiatrist. Because when God gets finished doing what he's going to do, and I'm going to lose my mind. Oh, thank you, Sister Archer. I may come in here spinning and twirling. Y'all think I done lost my mind and don't realize God just did exactly what he said. Now, faith only brings to pass that which is impossible to man. Which means if you can do it yourself, you don't need faith. And if somebody in your life can do it, you don't need faith. But faith brings about those things that even your enemy will have to say, only God could have done this. And do I got anybody here who's in need of a only God could have done this miracle? I've got something going on that either of y'all all gave me $1,000. Money couldn't buy what I need. Oh God. I got something going on that a miracle drug just can't cure. You got to understand only God can do what I need done. This is an old school church. They would say, and if God don't do it, oh God, it won't be done. Oh, anybody at that point? If God don't do this for me, it won't be done. Woman of God, when you get to that point, here's what happens. I stop talking about it because I'm tired of sharing my problem with people who don't have the power to change it. And I understand you want to be there for me. Be there for me in prayer and not in a meaningless conversation. Because after I've told you what I'm going through, all I've done was expose myself to someone who may turn around and expose me. Y'all will catch you on the way home. But if you pick me up in the realm of the Spirit, God, I thank you. In the Spirit, God will let you know what I'm going through without allowing you to know what I'm going through. Y'all will catch you on the way home. Because the Bible says we speak with utterances that are not known by man. And so it is here now. I got the writer, is coming to encourage a people who have not broken down yet, but there's a crack going on in my faith. Let me help you, man of God. I'm talking about those I was riding with someone, and they have a crack in their windshield from the bottom to the top. You're not saying anything here. And it didn't start that way. It probably started small, but as you drive, it gets bigger and bigger. Can I tell you something? Sometimes, beloved of God, the crack in your faith started small, but the further you go, the bigger it gets until it's addressed. Y'all not saying anything here. And I've come to talk about 8 of you. God has come to change your windshield. Oh, y'all will catch on the way home. Now, God, He don't want you to go into this next year broken. He don't want you to go into this next year shattered. He don't want you to go into this next year wounded. He don't want you to go into this next year feeling forsaken. But stop your right foot and say, God's getting ready to do it. Now, it's not enough just to say it, but I've got to believe it. And I can't believe it because my neighbor touched and agreed with me. I got to learn how to believe it for myself first. Is there anybody in the sound of my voice that says, I'm tired of getting by on somebody else's past? I want people, God, I thank you, that will pray with me. Because I've outgrown the season where I ask you to pray for me. Because the reality of it is, you're not going through what I'm going through. So you're not going to pray with the same drive I have. Y'all not saying that here. You're going to pray and you're going to go to bed and get a good night's sleep because you say, I got to get up in the morning. But because I'm going through it, I'm going to burn the midnight oil. Believing my faith, if I got to wake up in prayer, I will. But God, I need you. And I need you right now. The Bible says, He's ministering to a people who are about to break down a day before their breakthrough. He's ministering to a people who God told you to meet Him in Galilee, and the night before He arrives, you decide you're going to move to Capernaum. And don't realize you're about to miss your visitation because you caught up in your feelings and you in your emotions. But just tell your neighbor, say, neighbor, we're not emotional people. We're spiritual people. And I don't care how much I cry, I'm going to be like a tree planted by the rivers of water. Tell your neighbor, say, neighbor, I'm not going to let nothing move me. It may shake me, it may rock me, but I ain't going nowhere. God, I'm going to be steadfast. Watch yourself. Unmovable. Word says, man of God, He's encouraging the people who are broken but haven't fallen apart yet. I'm shattered, but I just didn't go to pieces yet. You admire, good God, from everywhere, the box, but you don't know the pieces of the puzzle that lie therein. Y'all not saying anything here. And this ain't one of those kindergarten puzzles where there's 5 pieces. This is one of them jigsaw puzzles where you go to grandma's house and there's a million pieces on the dining room table and it's covered in plastic yellow because they don't have that too much anymore. And so here now, which means it had to be put together over time. And so it is that here now, first thing I want to say to you is there is a word that will encourage you in the season in which you're in. Can anybody tell me what today's date is? Just tell me now because I'm so far gone. What is it? It's the 10th, right? There's 31 days, good God, from everywhere, in this year, left in the year, which means there's 21 days left. You're not ready for me. I said there's 21 days left, which means if God released it today, the devil has 20 days to play around with my stuff. Because Daniel declared on the 21st day, a release came. Y'all not with me here. I said on the 21st day, a release came. I know y'all need another word. I'll give you another one. The end of a thing is much better than the beginning thereof. which means every letdown, every hurt, every discouragement, every setback, God, I thank you, everything that derailed you and deterred you has now got to reverse itself and push you and promote you, because by the end of the year, God has to make it all up to you. Touch your neighbor and say, he gonna make it all up to me in the next 21 days. Y'all don't believe that. Y'all hear me, but y'all not believing. Tell someone with power, say, he gonna make up your year in the next 21 days. Oh, God. Everything that didn't come to pass is getting ready to come to pass in the next 21 days. You want to lift your hand and say, I'm on to it. My year may have had me down and bound, but these next 21 days are going to be days of deliverance, because I'm expecting an unexpected delivery. Oh, that do I got anybody here who's pregnant in the realm of the spirit that can say, I just felt my baby leave? Oh, and it's pushing on the placenta now. Oh, God. My water is getting ready to break, and I'm getting ready to birth out my next miracle. I'm getting ready to push until something happens. And so, this is the crucial point now. This is the point where now, either you're going to make it or you're not. This is the point now where either you're going to hold on or you're going to let go. Touch your neighbor and say, neighbor, it's crunch time now. It's crunch time now. How many sports players do I see in the house? How many sports players? You know, basketball, baseball, football. You know, you fans of that kind of stuff. Come on here. But we're in the last quarter. Come on here. And the score is real close. And there's not a lot of time left on the clock. You understand it here? Which means either I can get my head in the game and win the game, or feel like I lost the game because of the time that's left on the clock, and don't realize if anything, I'll just push it to overtime. Y'all will catch you on the way home. Because overtime will give me a fifth quarter. Y'all not saying that. And in the fifth quarter, I'm going to do everything in the fifth quarter I didn't do in the first four quarters. Y'all not with me here. And so you got to understand, in the next 21 days, God needs you to keep your mind together. Here is where we go wrong. Our thinking starts thinking. And we start saying, if God didn't do it by now, he just ain't gonna do it. And don't realize, God usually moves the day before you're ready to give up on yourself. Which means if you're at the point where you believe like you get ready to give up on yourself, expect God to move. I came for people who said I could hear myself cracking under the pressure of my life, but I believe I'm coming out whole without a crack or a shatter at all. There will be no broken pieces in this season. I'm coming out healed, I'm coming out whole, and I'm coming out with power. I'm not going through what I'm going through to come out weak. Touch your neighbor and say, neighbor, I'm coming out, enjoying my due season. I'm not crying over who left. I'm not crying over who walked away. I'm not mourning over who had something to say about me while I was going through my process. I made up in my mind, I'm going to dance at my own party. And I'm only inviting 3 people, me, myself, and I. Because at the end of the day, it was only me, myself, and I that was going through what I was going through while I was going through it. People said they was praying for me as they were walking away from me. And I knew you wasn't praying for me because you never grabbed my hand. You understand it here? And so because you never grabbed my hand, I realized you never touched or agreed with me, which means you didn't believe I was going to make it. You only went through the formalities that church people go through. When I needed a real believer that could say, don't worry about your faith. I got enough faith to cover the lack of yours and mine at the same time. We got to come to a point, Evangelist Rice, where our faith has the ability to produce a miracle in someone else's life. I need Bible for that. I'll give you Bible for that. There was a man that was brought to church, and the Bible said that out of all times, Jesus was preaching the word of the Lord. The Bible said that there was no room in the house because he who was a teacher, the rabbi, is now in revival meeting. Come on here. And every once in a while, even Jesus got out of character. Y'all will catch you on the way home. The Bible said in the midst of the hoops